The avalanche-named Octagon is tumbling into the next German city on the 17th of June in Oberhausen. The 15th of April at the Home Credit Arena, Liberec.
Duel dvou mužů, u kterých jsme se vždy mohli spolehnout na skvělou a atraktivní bitvu.
Christian Jungwirth, nezastaviteľný KELT a reprezentant Nemecka v miliónovej hre Tipsport GAMECHANGER.
Ich will zeigen, dass ich der Beste bin in der 77er Gewichtsklasse bei Octagon.
This man has carved his own place and he's done it through blood, through sweat and through the fights he puts on in the Octagon.
Miluje boj a jednoducho zápasy.
Hat je an mich gedacht, aber ich wusste, zu was ich fähig bin und jetzt ist erst der Anfang.
Jungwirth si dokonce naplánoval 2 zápasy během 1 měsíce.
Weil ich ja gewohnt bin, relativ oft im Jahr zu kämpfen, es spielt eher in meine Karten.
Veo que Christian está intentando más que ganar, no quiere perder hoy.
Congratulations for your fight. You're looking good performance and see you in 3 weeks, my brother.
No na Christiana v pyramíde čaká Tato Primera.
Estoy aquí para demostrar que estoy entre los mejores del mundo dentro de mi categoría.
Primera, kterého jsme neviděli dlouho v Octagonu, se mezi tím stal šampionem největší organizace MMA na Pyrenejském poloostrově.
A quien lo conecto con un buen puñetazo, se le tiemblan las piernas, eso es así. Y estoy seguro de que ninguno de ellos tiene el peso que yo tengo en las manos.
Má za sebou 30 zápasov, 18 víťazstiev a z toho 12 ukončení na KO alebo TKO.
Garantizo y os doy mi palabra de que yo estoy en la mejor forma física que he estado hasta el momento.
Ihr kennt mich, ihr wisst, für was ich da bin.
Stand and bang. To je asi to, co od zápasu všichni čekají a velmi by nás udivilo, kdyby tomu bylo jinak.
So here we go. Espanol on the way to the cage in the form of this man. Fighting out the Canary Islands, Tato Primera, José Antonio Martín. Tato Primera. And Luke, this guy has got the type of skill set that can cause so many problems in this tournament to any fighter. Tenacity, pace, excellent boxing. He's already beaten the likes of standout fighters, heroes, stars in Octagon, like Gabo Bororos. He's finished, he stopped the 6-fight win streak of Andrei Kalashnik. He's been away from Octagon for a little while. Since then, he has claimed titles in other promotions, and tonight he wants to come in here and take on Christian Jungwirth and prove that he, at this stage of his career, can really be the guy to watch, the guy to beat in the Tipsport GAMECHANGER.
Like you said, already beaten well-known names, well-known faces and heroes here at Octagon, and that is exactly what Christian Jungwirth is. Last year had an incredible year at Octagon, and 4 weeks ago had a victory as well. So he's really taken on a fan favorite. And Primera, you know, like you said, tenacious, great boxing, hard to deal with, lots of forward pressure. And it feels like I'm even describing Jungwirth when I talk about him. So very, very similar styles in a way, these two. Big output, come forward, and they love to fight, both of them.
The main difference, I would say, between Tato Primera and Jungwirth is the prowess, the finishing prowess of Primera. Jungwirth, a number of decisions on his record, known for grinding fights out, really destroying and beating up his opponents. Primera, a record of 18-12, 13 of those 18 wins are by finish, 10, my friend, are by way of knockout, and that is one thing the man, the Celt, Christian Jungwirth, will need to be aware of as he faces El Spectacular Tato Primera. It feels like yesterday that we welcomed this man to the cage again, and in fact it was just the last event, Octagon 39. This man main evented in Munich. He claimed victory there by decision, but look at what he has claimed in the form of the hearts and the minds of the Octagon fans. And again, the way he has done it is being what he classes as the last Celt, the man, the warrior, the myth, the legend, that is Christian Jungwirth.
What a reception he gets as he makes his walk. Extremely well known here by the Octagon fans, put on some incredible performances last year. Had a little bit of a hiccup, I want to say, in his last performance 4 weeks ago, but it's because his sights were set on tonight. He was thinking about the fight tonight when he fought 4 weeks ago. Didn't put on a very Jungwirth performance, and he was more cautious, more careful than we're used to seeing him. I think that'll all go out the window tonight against Primera.
Listen, he did this crazy thing when I was checking in at the same time as him at the hotel. He came over to me and he apologized for that last performance. He said, please understand, I know you love the way I fight, but I had to be technical to make sure that I was okay for this fight. So it was the first time, he said, I've stuck to a game plan during a fight. He said, but this time, he said, there's no holding back. I'm not here to ease my way or to cruise into the next round. This time, I'm going to meet leather with leather, bone with bone, skin on skin, and I am going to put a classic Christian Jungwirth performance on. And when you look at his adversary, when you look at his dance partner, those ingredients could make up for Fight of the Night.
Big cheer for Christian Jungwirth as he steps inside the octagon cage, sporting that German flag on his shorts.
Spine tingling stuff. We look at the tail of the tape. 5 years the older is Jungwirth. He has the height, the reach advantage, the experience on the side of Tato Primera, but the Tipsport odds sit in the favor of the German, the KELT, Christian Jungwirth. Set and ready we are for yet another Tipsport game change about the welterweights on show, as is this man, the man with the mic. Let's hand it to him now, Andrei Novotny.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest is a welterweight bout scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds, and the referee in charge is Pablo Picantetos. Let me introduce you both fighters, and we will start, as usual, in the blue corner. He's 31 years old, stand 178 centimeter tall, weight in at 77.4 kilo. Represent CFC Gym, and the coaches in his corner are Amir Striker, Santiago Rodriguez. He has a professional record of 30 fights, 18 wins, 13 finishes and 12 losses. Fighting out of Spain, José Antonio Martín Reis, El Spectaculo, Tato, Primera. In the red corner, he's 36 years old, 181 centimeter tall, weight in 77.5 kilo. Represent Kongs Gym Stuttgart and Dimas Gym, Boxen Nurlinden. And the coaches in his corner are Oliver Meyer and Dima Ambazubian and Daniel Adler. He has a professional record of 19 fights, 13 wins, 6 KO and 6 losses. Fighting out of Germany, Christian the KELT Jungwirth.
Final instructions from our referee in the cage, the third man in the cage, Pavel Picantetos. He might have his hands full tonight, Luke. My goodness, these two warriors, they come with pace, they come with pressure, both of them. Excellent strikers. They touch gloves. Primera in the white shorts, blue corner. Jungwirth, black shorts, red corner. Me, Brian Lacey, alongside Luke Barnett. And Luke, last night when they re-stepped on the scales, Jungwirth was the heaviest of all the welterweights, just over 90 kilograms from the 77.6 he weighed in at.
And that stinging right hand of Primera is what he needs to watch out for as he's coming out in his southpaw stance. And when he big left hook as well, and when he saw the scales, he was 90 kilos. He was surprised. It wasn't planned. He was just like, oh, I must have eaten a lot. But he looks very, very stout and very big in there as he gets forced up against the fence by Primera.
And we've seen from Primera in a number of his fights, he mixes it up so well, from the boxing to the wrestling. We saw that with the Alex Lahore fight. He came out at the wrong end of a decision then, but really did show that he got good scrambles, good control. We saw in the Gabor Roche fight the amount of damage his hands can do, and then in the Andrei Kalashnik fight, he had an answer for the grappling and was able to keep it in the world, the place he wanted the fight to take place in, and that saw him derail Kalashnik on a 6-fight win streak.
And like we said, this is the Tipsport Game Changer. Great display of European mixed martial arts. We have Germany taking on Spain in one of our higher-up fights on our card, one of our really highly touted, exciting bouts.
Yeah, these two both have earned their plaudits from the Octagon fans with those performances. Primera earned the spot by getting voted in by the fans. And Jungwirth's stock has risen so much, so considerably. I think he went 3-1. That one was a split decision loss against Curtis. That was in 2022, and he started 2023 already with a victory against Denilson de Oliveira.
Go for that oblique kick a couple times. Needs to try and step outside that lead foot and avoid the power, but throws power from both sides, does Primera. Good left hook, and obviously that stinging right hand he has as well. He's always got it cocked.
Yeah, I love that boxing style as well. The counter strike's really good from Primera.
Yeah, normally you see a lot more, like you see the pressure, the stalking pressure, but you normally see a lot more shots coming out of Jungwirth, but he's almost a bit tentative to throw because he knows those bombs are coming back.
How loose does Primera look as well? When you talk about strikes and boxing and fluidity, it's key, right? That's how you get these effective strikes, these big combinations.
It's almost like when you know you have the power, you don't need to throw with power. You're just loose when you have that confidence in your hands. But if you're trying to force it and you're trying to hit hard, you don't hit hard. You have to be loose, you have to be effective. And that's the speed that makes the whip, that makes the knockout, you know? And I almost feel like Jungwirth, who doesn't really have that knockout power, you see him push, you see him force with the hands. It's a bit more rigid when he punches.
Yeah, you look at the Jungwirth's finishes, they are all classed as TKO KOs, but they come from the pressure. Let's talk about that Pukac one where he broke it mentally.
That was, for me, one of the performances of the year last year for us, and that's what he's so good at. That's what he's made his name with, that forward pressure. We see it here, the stalking, they're staying in the range, and always, but he's not, needs a bit more output.
Yeah,
he needs the output. We haven't seen that yet. Normally you see 4, 5, 6 punch combinations coming from him. He seems like he wants to hang out on the outside and throw kicks. So trying to avoid that power maybe in the first round of Primera.
Trying to edge his way in step by step, and again, you look at Jungwirth's journey. First started boxing at age 28. His first MMA fight, Luke, he didn't even train for, just turned up at an event and took a fight, won that, and was like, this is what I'm going to do with my life. This is me. This is me all over.
I'm not bad at this. I'll give it a go. Just kind of chasing Primera around the cage at the moment. Needs to cut him off a little bit better, a little bit more effectively. I think he's afraid to step into that power.
But to create that close of distance, he needs to use his hands, right? He needs to do something where he's asking some sort of questions.
That's more like it, throwing the combinations now, loosening up a bit. Gets that reversal up against the fence. Trying to find that head position is Jungwirth. Heavy whizzer, nice shoulder barge.
Again, when you talk about fighters that learn how to use their anatomy, Primera is one of those, right? He's a short, stocky guy. He knows, you know, how to manipulate, how to wrestle, how to box, how to get the best out of the attributes.
And that's where you got to be careful, that short distance hook that he just missed with when they broke from the grappling. So if Jungwirth's going to push him up against the fence, they're going to have that, he needs to watch the breaks, because that's where he lands, and he lands very hard. You see the focus on the face of Primera.
And what I like about that is he's not intimidated, right? Jungwirth can be a guy with that walkout, with his style, with the size of him in that cage. He can be intimidating, but not to Primera.
Finding his rhythm at the end of this round is Jungwirth. Just seems to find his rhythm. Seems to see like glimpses of his style just coming out, where he'll throw in phases. He'll throw one, pop out, throw again. He did it once at the end of that fight. So maybe growing in confidence, maybe wary of the power of Primera, but now he's felt it. He's been in there. You can see him growing a little bit towards the end of that round.
Yeah, first round in the books. And for me, Primera really, you know, making the adjustments and imposing his game plan a little more effectively than Jungwirth. But again, look at that, Luke. Spain versus Germany. We've had Greece in there versus Brazil, Serbia versus Moldova. It really is a festival of of martial arts,
We've
right?
been extremely fortunate to see the growth from Octagon over the last year, 2 years, and see where they say it normally was Slovakia, Czech Republic in pretty much 80% of the fights, and now we've seen it grown into a real dominant force in Europe. And, you know, you can see, like you said, Germany versus Spain, and we've seen all the nations here, 14 different nations fighting in this Tipsport Game Changer.
So set for round number 2. Set to get underway, Tato Primera raises his hand. He is in the blue corner, taking on the one, the only Christian Jungwirth.
Yeah, raring to go is Primera. I think he, maybe towards the end of that round, kind of let it slip a little bit. Jungwirth coming out a lot more aggressive now in this second round. I feel like he found his rhythm. Needs to be careful, though. Can't leave those hands low when he throws that low kick. Just out of distance with these shots is Primera. Good control from Jungwirth.
And it feels like a little bit more urgency from Jungwirth.
Yeah,
They feel the corner. They want him to switch on because they know what he is. They know who he is. They train with him every day, and the rumor is he trains like he fights. And they just want him to switch on. Sometimes it is about, right, getting into that moment. Oh, headbutt warning there from Primera.
I love that he was complaining about headbutt, and then Jungwirth just got head position and pushed his head into him. But yeah, no, the intention changed. You could see it in Jungwirth. His intention's completely different in this second round. Like I said, I feel like he found his rhythm towards the end of that first round, and he's much more confident. That twitchy style with the phases throwing. Needs to be careful. Lands that left hand, though, on that break.
Oh, and look, that's where the cut's coming. I think that's what he's complaining. Oh, and
yeah, I think the blood coming from a headbutt. But Jungwirth much more switched on in this second round. Needs to be careful those big shots. Because every shot that Primera throws is with whipping power.
It's almost strange, right? Jungwirth has the height and reach, but he is a better fighter closer in range, right? He needs to be within that distance where Primera is technically and powerfully more dangerous, but where Jungwirth comes alive is right in your face, yeah?
Yeah, he needs to be in your face. He needs to, but he is now. He's pushing forward. This is what I'm used to, that little duck back to avoid the damage and then throwing. He's much more alive, and there's a beautiful right hand lands there as well. This is the style we're used to seeing from Jungwirth, and he's a sort of animal that when he sees blood on the face of his opponent, that'll wake him up as well. He's motivated by that. He can see the gradually breaking down his opponent. So like he did against Pukac that we saw, actually broke his entire spirit in that fight. And now you see, even now, bullying him a little bit up against the fence. The demeanor of the man is completely different in this second round. There's nice work, though, from Primera.
Yeah, Primera still dangerous. Oh, swinging as well, trying to switch the momentum of this second round. It's been firmly grabbed by the pressure of Jungwirth. You see Primera trying to use that jab just to keep this pressure at bay.
That's the shot I think Jungwirth needs to be careful of, that left hook, because he keeps slipping outside the jab. You see him move the head movement, but he could just, if he feints the jab and throws that left hook, I think it could land quite well. Nice. But step back 1-2. He's up with the teeth.
Solid teeth. Pushes back Primera. And he's making Primera fight at his pace now as well. This is going to ask questions of the cardio Primera, because you're always in a fight now in this range, right?
This is Jungwirth. This is perfect. Those little touches and phases, punches, ducks back, throws again. This is where he's so effective now. Going to the body, switching up more combinations. Like I said, really come alive. Everything. Every time Primera attacks, he attacks back. He's giving away no space now.
Oh, Primera trying to feint with something, coming up with the overhand right. I'm liking some of the low calf kicks Primera is throwing, but at the minute just struggling to deal with the pressure with his back against the cage in particular.
And the volume. Again, now we have the volume coming out. He's throwing. A nice feint from Jungwirth, just setting things up very, very well. Again, that's what he wants. He throws the feint to get the bite, to then throw, and then he goes, and then again. Great work from Jungwirth, piling on that pressure. This fight goes so quickly. We're moving into the
final minute
of the second round, because you can't take your eyes off it, because they're so close together the whole time, because Jungwirth's just pushing the pace. They're always in that blast zone.
And it really does feel like whatever the corner said in that second, in between the first and the second rounds, had that effect on Jungwirth, switched him on, and now it's been an effective, impressive round by the KELT.
Yeah, and I think he's just going to grow as well. As normally in his fights, you see the second, third, he just grows and grows and grows. Primera needs to earn his respect now. He needs to land something heavy to make a difference. Or get a takedown, switch up the rhythm of the fight. Because at the moment, look, wild swing and a miss.
And tired. And tired as well. You throw like that without the footwork below you, can leave yourself in big trouble.
He's biting on everything now. Jungwirth really, can play his complete game, doing whatever he wants. Right in front of us here.
10 seconds left. And it makes the third round really interesting, Luke, because you could argue 1 for 1, right? You could argue that as far as Primera in that first round.
Exactly, could that. But Jungwirth now looks fresh. Looks like he's not even really sweated yet.
Crazy. And when I talk to people who train with him about his cardio and about like the rounds he does on the running machine alone, yet alone the heavy sparring he does, the cardio, all the things that he does in and around preparation, they all talk about it, just jaw-dropping endurance.
Yeah, and you could just see it on him. He's fresh. And like I said, the heaviest to come in, so did a very big weight cut. Going into the third round, now that second round was all action. Couldn't take your eyes off it. Pressure, 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 non-stop output, and he's fresh. So Primera's really feeling it now, and you can see Primera getting desperate and throwing big hooks desperately and missing. We'll see some of the action here in the replay in between rounds.
Yeah, talk us through this, because it was this forward pressure that seemed to be the distance. There was a complaint about a headbutt, but aside from that, it was always that forward pressure and keeping Primera on that outside, on that apron by the cage.
Exactly that, and you see there, he throws one shot, then he throws again. Then he ducks back and he throws again. You see the output from him. He's throwing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is what we're used to seeing, which we didn't see in the first round. So like you said, going into this third and final round, you could argue that it's 1-on-1. You could also argue that Primera needs a finish. So if I was in the corner of Primera, I'd say you need a finish. You need to go out there and put it on.
All or nothing, right? And he has that finishing power. 13 of his 18 wins by finish. 10 of those are knockouts.
Nice hips early from Jungwirth, and again this forward pressure.
Here he comes, closing the distance again. And what does Primera need to do? Because he keeps getting caught on this outside. Footwork is key, right? So how does he utilize that to make space?
He needs to work his way in. This control on the hand is good, but he needs to earn the respect of Jungwirth, almost there, and throw more than one shot. I think the right hand left hook would be a good combination. If he threw a left hook on the end of that, he needs to throw more than one shot, because at the moment he's getting beaten by phases. So he'll throw one shot, miss, and then Jungwirth will hit him with 2 shots. So he needs to make him bite. Jungwirth switching it up and getting the takedown. Goes straight to the mount. Primera pops out the back door.
Again.
Catches a knee for his hard work.
But that, in terms of a transition between the two, a scramble, cardio-wise, that's going to take a lot out of the lungs of Primera again, right?
Yeah, this pressure and making him explode like that consistently. Like I said, just one shot from Primera. He needs to throw more than one shot. He's missing every time. He needs to throw away a punch, throw it for no reason, and then throw another one. And don't expect to land on the first shot. Expect to land on the second shot. Hit the air and then hit Jungwirth. Again, misses, and every shot he misses, he's leaving himself completely open. Big body kick.
That was a big reaction. You saw him take a big, deep breath as that connected right across the liver there.
You just see this pressure, forward pressure here from Jungwirth, and again, just grinding out Primera. Nice little elbow. Right hand lands, though.
Right hand lands, that put him on wobbly legs a little bit then by the looks of it.
Primera looks for his own takedown, switching up the game. Not good idea. Try and change the rhythm.
But once again, here he is on the outside with Jungwirth pushing, edging forward.
Head kick lands. Right in front of us here. Gets that body lock. Nice hip toss. Back to his feet.
Straight back to his feet, straight back to work. The right hand connects. Primera just trying to keep him at bay. You must have nightmares about this man after facing him, right?
He's just in your. This is what we expect. We didn't see it in the first round, but second and third, this is Jungwirth. In your face, in range, all the time. You try and hit him, he moves out the way, and he catches you. You see in the punches, Jungwirth 80, and Primera's at 50, so quite a significant difference. I was trying to work out the percentages in my head, and I realized I'm not very good at maths. significant strikes even though, 45-45. So that shows the output, the difference in the output from Jungwirth. Bit of blood on the face of Jungwirth now. Not there, throws that combination and lands very well.
Oh, he's going to take him down.
Looks for this outside reap, doesn't get it. Knee through the middle, great work.
Really strong stuff, and we've seen an evolution in Jungwirth's game. We know where he's good, but people have been able to take him down in other fights. Now his takedown defense and his cage grappling in particular has really moved on, Luke.
Well, he's going to need it if he goes through in this, you know, Tipsport Game Changer. He's going to need every tool in the toolbox to try and get his hands on that money. But at the moment, handedly dealing with Primera, the power and the prowess of Primera that we expected to see. Jungwirth just stealing that away with this forward pressure.
That body kick again from Jungwirth. But now in some open water here. Primera needs to stay here, right?
Yeah, Primera doing a better job now. Feinting, moving, but only a minute left. Can he get the upset? Can he land one of those bombs as he lands the jab? Charges forward. Jungwirth needs to be careful doing that. Doesn't want to run into something stupid. Beautiful lean back right hand.
Both corners really animated as they're trying to urge their fighters on for this final 55 seconds. Oh!
Catches the kick, throws the left hook, switches him up. Great work from Primera. But Jungwirth,
so good at making space. Look at that.
Creates the space, ducks out.
And the crowd here as we enter the final 40 seconds really trying to lift the energy in the cage. Nice right hand. Strong, sturdy right hand from Jungwirth.
And I just like how he slips out the way. It's the head movement to get himself out to then come back. That's when he double up the shots. Good work from Primera, but maybe a little bit too late as we move into the final 20 seconds.
Oh, going for the takedown of his own, trying to drag his man to the mat. Primera able to stay on his feet, looking still for the takedown. Good sprawl for Jungwirth. 10 seconds left, Luke. 10 seconds left in this.
Yeah, not a great place to be when you're behind. Shouldn't be looking for the takedown, should be looking for the knockout.
And
but Jungwirth trying to finish out
they want.
fight.
Giving the crowd in Ostrava what they want. He feels like he's done enough. He raises his hands.
I would have to agree. Those last 2 rounds are quite dominant in my eyes.
And look, we're going to talk about his skill set, but I'm going to tip my hat at the corner because whatever they said between rounds 1 and 2, it turned him on. It literally switched on the Jungwirth that we know, the Jungwirth that this crowd love, into rounds 2
It
and
was
3.
almost like it was round 4 of his last fight 4 weeks
I get
ago.
you, yeah.
Very, very similar style. And then in between rounds, I said, what are you doing? Stop messing around. That's what my corners would say to me. They would literally slap me and stop saying, stop being a whatever, and then inspire me to move forward. They have to wake you up sometimes. I feel like Jungwirth had a 4th round that we saw against Oliveira 4 weeks ago, and now he's come forward and changed back into the man that we know in the 2nd and the 3rd round. Here we see some of the highlights and just his spatial awareness and understanding of when to go. That's what I was impressed by. Here we see him get his own takedown as well, but the escape instantly. Great work here as he moves into the mount. And that body kick, that landed heavy. And that head kick as well. Utilized a lot of tools, not just the boxing that we're used to seeing. And finished here with a bit of a flurry to entertain the fans. Feels like he did enough. We will find out as the judges hand the scorecards over to Andrei Novotny. He'll make his way to the octagon cage. You see the stats there, Jungwirth over 100 strikes landed, and they bring the fighters together to make it official and get our decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, this bout goes to the judges' scorecard. So let's see how the judges score this fight. All 3 judges score this fight 29-28. All for the winner, Christian the KELT Jungwirth.
Christian, erstmal einen herzlichen Glückwunsch zu deinem Sieg. War ein sehr, sehr hart umkämpftes Match. Wie geht es dir?
Dankeschön. Ja, mir geht's gut. Nach einem Sieg geht's einem immer gut, besser wie nach einer Niederlage. Und ja, wenn man denkt, ich habe vor 3 Wochen gekämpft
ist keine Ausrede, sonst wäre ich nicht hier, wenn ich Ausreden hätte. Und ihr wisst, Zuschauer, ich bin immer ready zum Fighten. Also ja, war heute ein Stück besser als letztes Mal, aber ja, wir haben auch einen starken Gegner vor den Fäusten gehabt, den man nicht unterschätzen durfte. Kein Gegner darf man unterschätzen, aber ja, wir haben gewonnen.
When I was asking him about, okay, you got your victory, how are you feeling right now? He just said, okay, after the victory, you always feel good, but now he had a tough opponent. His last fight was only 3 weeks ago, but he's happy that he got the job done and he's looking to proceed in the Game Changer. Christian, du hast heute eine Hammer-Performance abgeliefert. Es geht jetzt demnächst für dich weiter. Wie sieht das aus? Wann sehen wir dich wieder?
Von mir aus in 2 Wochen.
When I was asking him about, okay, now you got your victory, when is the next time when we're going to see you again? He said, okay, let's do it in 2 weeks again. This is Christian Jungwirth. Die abschließenden Worte gehören dir. Was hast du zu sagen heute?
Hello, Ostrava. Thank you so much for the support and Octagon. Thank you to having me on the contract. And thank you to all my coaches, to my family in Germany, for the fans in Germany, and yeah, for the support here. Thank you. Have a nice night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Short Notice, Christian Jungwirth.
The avalanche named Octagon is tumbling into the next German city on the 17th of June in Oberhausen. The 15th of April at the Home Credit Arena, Liberec.